Welcome to Real Judaism with Rabbi Klapper. Unfiltered wisdom for Jewish life.
Continuing with our journey to becoming the best of ourselves. We're talking about different eitzes that a person can use for overcoming the nisyonos of Shmir Sinayim, not just Shmir Sinayim, but also controlling our machshavos. Controlling our machshavos. These inyanim are very, very difficult. They're extremely difficult. And it's very, very important to remember. It's a very, very, very big yesod. It's very easy to get down. It's very easy to be disappointed in yourself. It's very easy to fall and blame yourself for it and say, what was it all worth? Give up. We should know that that's the Yetzer Hara. We all are supposed to set goals. We should all have she'ifos. We all should be striving to be the best Ovdei Hashem that we can. But we all also have to really understand where we're holding right now and appreciate when we have little victories too. We have to appreciate that. We have to know that we're not perfect. And we can't get so down when we have a fall. We should be real about ourselves. We should accept ourselves for who we are today. Yes, we have long-term goals. But we should understand that we can be patient with that. The Yetzer Hara very, very much wants to get into a person a very dangerous word called perfect. You have to be perfect. If I'm not perfect, well then Hashem, then I'm doing averos. Hashem doesn't want that. I'm gonna get punished for it even. I don't. So like if I'm not perfect, then it's not worth it because I have to be the best, and I have to be the best. I can't do this anymore. And really, it's not realistic. Depending on a person's place where they're holding their stage in life, or how long they've been on this journey, even if they've been on it for a long time, and kol shekain if they haven't been on it for a long time, there are falls. And you're normal if you fall. We have to be very careful not to get to allow the Yetzer Hara to say, "Oh, you fell? You see, all the hard work that you're putting in wasn't worth anything." That is very dangerous. Because that one line that brings you down is much, much worse than the fall. It's much worse than the fall. Because the fall is one time. I fell one time. But if a person gets into their head that I'm just not good enough, and they get in their head that I'll never succeed, they can get down and they can get depressed, and it can lead to all kinds of averos. It can lead to all kinds of terrible things. A person has to accept themselves for who they are and understand, I'm not perfect yet. And that's okay. It's okay to not be perfect. It's okay that I have falls. I'm trying, I'm working on it. I don't want to, but if it happens, so I'm okay. One of the biggest problems, or really what could be one of the biggest solutions, is something called busha. Busha, or shame, can be used in a good way. It can be used in a bad way. We have to be very careful that we're only using it in a good way and not in a bad way. Using busha in a bad way is saying like this. It's saying, I'm so embarrassed about what I've done that I'm bad. I'm a bad person. You identify with the busha as being part of you. I am that bad person. I am a low person. When a person has that kind of busha, then not only does it not help them improve, but it actually, to a certain degree, gives them a heter to keep doing bad things. If I'm such a bad person, so then, what's stopping me from doing all the other more averos? That feeling busha that's not a healthy type of busha. A healthy type of busha comes when a person realizes how good they are. You have to remember, we be'etzem are good. We are very, very special people. With the Jewish people, the Am HaNivcha. Right? We say every day, Asher bochor bonu mikol ha'amim. HaKadosh Baruch Hu chose us. We are special. So the right type of busha is if I'm so special, I can be better. I am ashamed of what I did because, welcome. I am ashamed of what I did. And because I'm ashamed of what I did, I'm better than that. I'm bigger than that. If I'm better and bigger than that, then I shouldn't be doing this kind of stuff. So that's the difference. So that's the difference between a good type of busha and a bad type of busha. Do I look at myself as I'm a good person, Betson? I'm a special person. So that I should be embarrassed about doing something that's bad because I'm so good. Or do I take that busha and I make that part of me? I'm bad. I'm a bad person. And now that redefines me. It defines who I am. The two words in the Hebrew language, there's zahut and there's mahut. What's the difference between zahut and mahut? Zahut is on the outside, and mahut is on the inside. Zahut means how I identify. How do people look at me? I have a mispar zahut. I have an identification number, right? You are number 2134. Yeah, that's what you are. That's how people identify you on the outside. That's your zahut, and that's what people really focus most of their life on. They're focusing on the image that I'm giving off on the outside. How do people look at me? What am I on the outside? And they don't focus enough on what's going on in the inside. Their mahut. The mahut, what's on the inside? What is my essence? Who am I? They forget about that. They don't spend enough time. They all they care about is what people think of them. So how do you define yourself? Do you define yourself based on the way other people think about me? Or do you define yourself based on who you are be'etzem? That's your definition. That's who I am. I want to decide who I am. I don't want everybody else in the world to decide who I am. I want to decide who I am. That's the most important, critical thing that a person can do. That gives a person independence. That gives a person a feeling, I know the best and the right thing for me, and I'm going to do the right thing. When I have a real clear understanding of who I am, so yes, even if I fall, it doesn't change my mahut. It doesn't change who I am on the inside. But if some people start saying nasty things about me, so that could change very much who I am. Do I focus on my zahut, or do I focus on my mahut? Do I focus who I am on the inside, my essence, or do I focus on the image that I'm giving off on the outside? Here, when it comes to these aveiros, these challenges that people have, is really you can really see who the person is. If a person is used to going with, this people, they think of me like this and they think of me like that, so then ein chanami. They might end up with situations where, everybody else sees me in such a way. This can easily fly back and forth, right? This usually happens with teenagers more than it happens with adults. But unfortunately, many times, if you don't get out of that system of being a teenager, you never graduate into your own self-identity, where your whole thing is just the way people look at you. That's really what social media is about, unfortunately. Social media is about everybody liking you. I put my thing up, and how many likes do I get? How many people like me? Now, I feel good if everybody likes me, and I don't feel good if everybody doesn't like me. Well, does that change who I am on the inside? No, it doesn't. Do I identify based on who I am on the inside, or do I identify based on who I am, what everybody else thinks I am? That is the huge difference, a tremendous difference. When a person can connect to who they are on the inside, and they can know, I'm somebody special. So then all those other things that happen, what a person thinks about me, even if I fall, even if I end up one time, two times, whatever it is, end up doing something that I shouldn't have done, it doesn't change me on the inside. And I can forgive myself and get back up. A person who can't forgive themselves, a person who gets down, so they're looking at their life the wrong way. It means they've forgotten that they're special to Hashem. You're not bad. You're not a bad person. We all have challenges. We have to learn to accept ourselves. We don't have to be perfect. We can try our best, and we keep trying. And we have to be in the process. We have to know that this is avoida, and we keep working on it. We keep working on it. We keep working on it. Kadosh Baruch Hu knows how difficult the tests are. He's the one who gives us the test. He's the one who's making it hard. But He's also giving us the koyachos to overcome it. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu also gave us the koyach of tshuva. HaKadosh Baruch Hu also gave us the ability to decide, I can be different. And it starts off in our mind. It starts in our mind by accepting ourselves for who we are, setting goals, celebrating when we do well, and understanding when we fall that tomorrow's another day and I'm going to get back up and I'm going to be okay. The general mahalach amongst the Gedolim when it comes to being over an Aveira like Sheikh Vazer Labatala is that what a person has to do is he has to get back up, go to base medrash, and learn Torah. That's what he has to do. He can't sit on this Aveira over and just think about how terrible it is. He's not going to be able to overcome the Aveira like that. The person needs to give himself koyach. And that means you show yourself, do you know what I am? I'm still a Ben Torah. I'm still a Ben Torah. Not that I'm ignoring it. Not that I'm pretending that it's not happening. And not that and during the day, I do one thing, and at the night, I'm a different person, right? What they used to call Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, right? You are a different person. Welcome, Binyamin. Come in, right? You're not a different person. You're a person who's a normal person who has challenges, and you're trying your best to keep focused on what you're doing in order to keep growing and to not give up. That's what you're doing. Accept yourself for you are. And know that you're a growing person and you're not that bad person. This is hard because the Yetzer Hara comes and tells you that you're bad. That the Yetzer Hara does. When a person falls and does an Aveira, the Yetzer Hara says, you're doing bad. You're a bad person. But it's not true. It's not true. Your mahut doesn't change.
What?
Mahut. Right? We've discussed this in the past a number of times that many people are all or nothing, or they have a Yetzer Hara called or all or nothing. Means, ani tzadik gamur, or ani rasha gamur. Right? What? There's nothing in between? There is nothing in between that, right? Or you're either this or that. What? Everybody has challenges. Everybody has difficulties. This is a Yetzer Hara. It's a Yetzer Hara on a lot of different levels and a lot of different places. This is so important. We have to realize that, and that's why it maybe sounds like I'm repeating things again and again, but that's a tool that the Mesilas Yesharim teaches us. And in order to really put things into our heart, we do repeat it. Supposed to repeat it again and again because I'm supposed to put it into my heart. I'm putting it into my heart by saying it over to myself again and again. I don't have to be perfect, but I have to try my hardest. Oh, what if I get down? Because I didn't try my hardest. So I am a loser. So you forgot about your mahus. It's not true. It's not true. Get back up and try again. Don't let the Yetzer Hara pull you down like, Maze mahut? Maze mahut? You say every day, Asher bocher bonu mikol ha'amim, v'nasal manu es Torah asoy. Say that bracha. Hashem chose us. I'm special. I'm a Jew. I'm higher. I'm different than everybody else. The Kuzari says that yesh kama madregot le'abriya, right? The different levels of creation. There is domem. Domem means like an inanimate object, like metal or wood or a rock. There's tzomeach. Tzomeach is plants, right? Plants, trees. There's fruit, right? Things that grow, but they're not necessarily alive. Then there's chai, animals, birds, fish. There's chai. Then there's Adam. Adam is above, a human being is above the animals, and above Adam is a Yehudi. A Yehudi is the highest level of creation, of physical creation. We have a little neshama inside of us, and that's part of comes from Tachas Kisei HaKavod.
So were snakes equal to Adam?
No, snakes were not.
But they were medaber.
So what? I didn't say medaber. I said Adam. Right? Yeah. And a snake, he had a koyach hadibur at that time, but he wasn't Adam. He wasn't Adam. But even above Adam, Klal Yisrael above everybody. That's what I am. That's my mahut. And I have to remember that. And by remembering that, that should give me koyach to not bring myself down. But even if I fall, I still remember you don't change. You don't change even if a person does the wrong thing. This is extremely important. One idea that we can use to help with this tahalich in order to help us is to set ourselves goals. Set ourselves goals that we believe that we can do, but not very big, heavy goals. For example, if we know that we have an nisayon in a certain place at a certain time, that's where I have an nisayon. First of all, that's one of the best things to do is to try to identify where is my nisayon. Where do I have my nisayon? And if I can identify, I can say my nisayon is at this place at this time. So that's already half the battle. It means going in. I know, okay, I'm about to have a nisayon. I'm about to have a nisayon. If you go in knowing that you're about to have a nisayon, then the Yetzer Hara loses his koyach of surprise. That's a big koyach. A surprise attack is a tremendous advantage because the one you're attacking is not ready. If the one you're attacking is ready, it's going to be a much harder battle. So if you're going in, this is where the Yetzer Hara always gets me. It means I'm getting ready for you, Yetzer Hara. I'm getting ready. So you don't have that surprise attack anymore. He doesn't have it anymore. A person can take some time while you're not in the nisayon. I'm not there in the nisayon. So now, okay, I know this nisayon is going to happen. What can I do? Now that's not 100% guarantee that you're going to be ready to overcome the nisayon. Doesn't mean that you're going to be able to do it, but it means you have a better chance. And especially if let's make a plan. Let's say, for example, somebody has a certain nisayon that they go someplace and certain people of the opposite gender like to talk with them when they're going to those places, and they have to go there. Let's say you have to go to school, right? You have to go to school, and when you're going to school, so happens to be there's some overly friendly females there, right? So what am I going to do? How am I going to do? How am I going to deal with this? Well, if you can think about it beforehand, well, let's try to make a plan. Let's see, let's think about what I can do about it in order to avoid it. That will help tremendously. Or it could be something that's, when I'm walking down a certain street, maybe I could walk down a different street instead. Oh, it'll take me a little bit longer. Okay, so I'll leave a few minutes earlier. Try to make a plan. What can I do? These things, again, are not 100%, but they don't have to be 100%. It shows Hashem, I am trying. You will see success. You will see success if you do this a little bit at a time. And we're going to try to pick something to work on that you have the best chance of winning. When we're fighting a war, the best way to fight a war is to first win the easy battles. Win the battles that you think you can win. Don't go for the hardest, biggest battles right away. Get a few victories under your belt first. Win a little battle. Win this little battle. What are the little battles and what are the big battles? The more a person takes the time out when he's not in the nisayon. Let's think about it. Where are my big battles and where are my little battles? Somebody might say, well, my big battles are with my phone. And my little battles are when I'm on the street. Or it might be the opposite. I don't have an issue with my phone, and my only issue is when I'm on the street. So each person is a little bit different. Each person has to figure out on their own, where are my difficulties? And now where I know where they are, let's try to figure out, and a little bit at a time. Let's start with one. Start with one plan. I know that I have an issue in this place. I'm going to fight for the first 5 minutes. Right? There's this thing that in Shmir Saloshan that people take on to do 1 hour. 1 hour I'm not speaking Lashon Hara. What about the other 23 hours in the day? What about that? Right? No, we have to start somewhere. You have to start somewhere. I'm going to be makbid. This is my 1 hour. I'm not speaking Lashon Hara during that 1 hour, no matter what. So which hour are you going to pick? Easy. 5 to 6 in the morning. That's the hour that I'm picking, right? Because I'm not awake during that time. That's the easiest one, right? That's the one. I know I'm not going to speak. You know what's going to be funny? Somehow Hashem will make you bring in the Zion during that time. I don't know how. But Hashem will make an nisayon, right? Exactly. Somehow you're going to end up with a nisayon during that time. But seriously, you pick something that is doable. It's doable. Not such a hard nisayon. And I'm gonna that 1 hour I'm not speaking Lashon Hara. And you see, Hashem will send nisyonos during that time, and I'm gonna have to be misgaber. It might not be the same thing if I pick an hour in the middle of the day that's like so big. I'm talking to so many people at that time. Maybe not the best hour to choose. Start with a battle I know I can win. What happens is you start getting, not only you win these little battles, it already gives you a good feeling, but you become much more sensitive to it. You become a more sensitive person. It makes you feel things a little bit sharper, and it becomes easier to notice it in other places as well. So when we're talking about Shmiras Einayim, where do I have my Nisayon in Shmiras Einayim? Well, I could have a very it could be a lot. Where do I have one? But it's the easiest one. I'm going to work on it over there. That's where I'm going to start. During that time where it's not so hard. Like a lot of times I like to say my example when I'm walking to and from yeshiva. Walking home to yeshiva, from my house to yeshiva, I'm walking yeshiva back to my home. How long of a walk is it? 11 minutes, 12 minutes maybe. So not such a long time, right? It's only 12 minutes. That's the time I'm going to be working on my Shmiras Einayim. Is there are nisyonos on that 12 minutes? You better believe there are. For sure there are. But it's still only 12 minutes. It's still only 12. Can I do it for 12 minutes? Can I do it for 12 minutes and to not look? Yeah, there are nisyonos there. Even at night when it's dark, there's nisyonos. Even in the winter, there's nisyonos. I think there are times that on the walk, you can in that 12-minute walk, you can have 5, 6, 7 nisyonos in that short span. And that's talking about in a frum community, right? I mean, imagine you're talking about places that it's not a frum at all. People are not shomer Torah mitzvahs, whatever. How much worse it could be. But that's it. Only 10, 12 minutes. An easier goal. Something easier. Once a person does that, so do it for a while. Do it for 2 weeks, a month. A makbid on that. Those 12 minutes are the 12 minutes that I'm makbid on. A person does that, he becomes a stronger person. I can be stronger. I can do better. This is a big thing. Each small step makes a difference. It's a hard nisayim. So I think for today we're gonna stop over here because I think this is a good thing we can start with. Everybody on their own, obviously, should think of something. Think of really tacheshbon and nefesh to do. Now, if I really want to do this seriously, I wanna be able to fight it. I want to be able to know like where are my ikar battles and where I can start. Anybody who needs help doing this, if you need help doing it, ask for help. Sit down. Talk, whether it's with me or a yeshiva or anybody else that you trust, a rav, a mentor, an older brother, a parent. Talk about the difficulty. That itself, first of all, brings a lot of chizuk because it validates yourself, number one, and you get chizuk from somebody else. Yes, for many times it's an embarrassing thing. We have to be honest about it. Yes, to admit the difficulties that in any area that they have is already a difficult thing. Kol shekain when it comes to something that's much more private. It's a very difficult nisayon for people to deal with, for sure. But what that does, by opening yourself up, you also make a kesher with the person that you're working with. And you build up trust that way. And by building up trust, you can actually be makabel a lot more. By being makabel a lot more, you actually can be a lot more successful. So it's very, very kedai if that's necessary. If a person doesn't know, I can do this on my own. I can. I'm gonna think about it. I'm gonna put in the effort in the right places, and I'm gonna keep track of it. Keeping track of it is also important because first of all, when you see success, you should be feeling good. You should. And even if a person falls, you should still see, wait, I didn't fall all the time. You have to remember, even when a person falls, all the victories, all the times that he was able to be oimed b'nisayon don't go away. They don't get erased. You don't lose those things. All of those things are so precious in front of a Kodesh Baruch Hu. We have to appreciate that too. Every time I do it, it's tremendous success. The Kodesh Baruch Hu loves it. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is so proud. So we have to take the time, write things down, have clarity in ourselves and who we are. And Be'ez Hashem, doing this derech, I hope everybody will see success. Okay, stop over here. Sure.
Thank you for joining Real Judaism, where we explore Torah's wisdom for real life. Created by J Foundations and produced by Eli Podcast Productions. Find more episodes at realjudaism.org and subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts.